Hello today. This is David, and I'm going to show you the quickest and easiest way that I do it, that I know how to make cards in Q. And I'm going to show you that in Photoshop, and I'm going to try to walk you through as simple as possible. Now, I'm going to show you a couple things on here that you really need to know offhand. Like over here, this is the layer box. You need to know where this is. This always needs to really be selected for now. And then over here is some of the tools. We'll go through these. This is the quick select tool. You will use this quite a bit in this. Below it's the crop tool. You're going to use this once, maybe ish. I don't know. You can see from the little videos exactly what it does. I mean, some of you probably have some kind of Photoshop experience, but for this is really for the people that have none. Spot healing tool brush. This one is a little bit more tricky, but it's pretty awesome once you get it. Just hold down the button or tap it, and you can, and then the text tool, that's pretty self-explanatory. You write stuff. That's about it. You just write stuff, because you're going to write stuff. All right, so let's dive into the card. Now, if your tools don't look like mine, go up here to the top box and make sure that photography is selected. And if it's not, select photography and your tools will look exactly like my tools over here on the left. So let's go ahead and jump in and grab the crop tool. And all we're going to do is pull this down to the edges, about here, and here, here, and pull this one up to here. And then this is the check mark. Always click the check mark, because if you don't, you will lose your progress, and it is a pain in the ass. Now, what I like to do, and this is a completely unnecessary step, you can skip this step if you want to. If you go to the three dots at the bottom and select the paintbrush tool, you can actually, as long as black is selected, just go in and fill in these little blue areas right here. It just pops the card a little bit more. Completely unnecessary. You can skip it if you want to. You do not have to do this. I just like to do it. The next thing is your quick select tool. And always make sure you start with layer 1. You want to start with layer 1, because if you're not on there, you're going to screw everything up. You're going to go up here to the top part. You're going to select the number boxes, and you're going to push Command J. And what that does is that's going to jump this to a new layer. You see the layer over here on the side? It has just the number boxes over here on the side. That's always going to be on top of the old layer. So make sure the first layer is selected, and you're going to do the exact same thing with the Mythic emblem. Command J, jump it to a new layer. Select your first layer. You're going to select the circle emblem down here. When that's selected, we just Command J and select that to a new one. And now comes the easy fun one. Make sure layer 1 is selected, and we're going to select the inside picture of this box. Now, if it selects everything and there's parts of it that are outside of it, up here on the top left, there is a plus minus thing. Or you can just toggle through it with Command button, and it'll go back and forth. And now you want to go in and select just the middle box, just like that. And then all you're going to do here is just hit delete, and now you have an empty box in the middle. Simple. Easy stuff. No big deal. Now we are going to make sure have layer 2 is selected. Over here on the left, we are actually going to be selecting our spot healing brush now. On layer 2, what I like to do sometimes is I will go in and I will change the numbers. And if you want to change the size of your cursor, you can do it with the buttons that are next to P. I think they're brackets. Or you can go up here to the top left and you can change the size right there. Now, I usually just leave the numbers alone, honestly, just because unless it makes the card more funny, I just leave it alone. We are going to select the first layer, and that's where we're going to start working. And we're just going to hold the button down, and we're just going to draw over everything. And it's going to start to erase everything. The smaller the strokes, the better it's going to look, because longer strokes, it'll start to like bleed in stuff. And I mean, it will work. But the smaller the strokes, the more you trace over stuff, the better it's going to look. I'm just doing the longer strokes because sometimes it takes a little bit longer. But I mean, we're just going for speed and not really quality right now. Drop down here, do the same thing. And sometimes it'll do this crap and it'll start to do this, and it doesn't like to do that. And you just kind of get stuck in a loop here, and you just go over here and click all this stuff off, and it pops back up, and you click it off, and then it's gone. And all gone. And all gone. There you go. Try to get this little guy out. Nope. Made it worse. Made it worse. Made it worse. Made it worse. All right. Here's another little shortcut. It's called Command Z. And you just back up a couple steps. Just leave it alone. Don't bother him. I already have a topic already picked. I am going to choose to make this card into AI art because it's terrible. So whenever you pull up Google, you're going to pull up Google Images, just search AI art, and it's all different images of just different AI art and random stuff over here. And someone made some shitty Joe Biden AI art. And really what you need to do is go to Tools, and you go to Size, and then go to Large. Now, what that does is it brings in only the large size images, which is what you need for your card. So if you don't want anything small, because sometimes it'll pull in small, it'll be the size of like a thumbnail, and you can't really expand those into being anything bigger because it'll be pixelated. And select whatever you want to select, do whatever you want to do. I mean, there's no cue card police out here. I mean, it's your own discretion. All right, now I have actually already selected my AI art, so I don't need anything off there. So I'm just going to drop it in off of my desktop, and hopefully it's big enough. And it is. So, move this back over here. And I'm just going to drag these sides out so it fits in that box right there. Now, as you can see, it is on top of the other box. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take this layer and drag it on top of this one, and bam, card, done. There's the card. That's all you had to do. Now comes the most fun part of everyone's favorite way to make a card, and that's Text Tool. Boo! All right, so here's how the text tool goes. You just drag it out, and you'll have these little pink lines on here as guides, which will really help. For this top one, just change it to white. And the font's really personal choice. It's up to you. I use Arial, bold, and regular for everything. Now for the one, I always put it in the middle. For the top one, and I just type AI generated art, and then I select it, and here is the drop down menu where you select the size. But if you don't have a certain size that you want to select, you can just hover over here where the arrows select, and you can just drag it and it'll move it like that. And you just kind of pick it and then click your move tool and see the pink lines. There you go. That's how you know it's in the middle. And then if you want it up or down a little bit, you can just use your up and down, left and right keys to nudge it. and nudge it up, down, left, or right, and that's how that makes that. Now, all right, we're going to go back to the command keys, and we're going to Command J the text layer. So what it did is it made another copy of that. And what we're going to do is we're going to turn that into a black font, just like that. And then we're going to make it smaller, and then there's the font right underneath it. And then just change that to whatever you want. And what the fuck is this? Yeah, it's fine. And just center that, and then just nudge it down if you want to nudge it down. And then it's just the last step, and that's just putting the other text in the bottom. And just draw that out until your guy's there. Now, all this stuff in here and that pops up in here, this is just a Photoshop setting. So don't freak out like your Photoshop's hacked or bugged or anything. It's just a placeholder. It's a setting in Photoshop. You can turn it off. It's no big deal. Just delete it every time. So make sure you switch this to regular if you want to use the same font I am. You don't have to. And make it a little bit smaller of a font. And back here. That way you can see what you're typing for the whole thing. It's like when AI generated art is plain. I'm a really bad speller, so just your opponent have any prominent shit, I forgot I spelled prominent. There you go, prominent painters in your deck. This guy, and I realize I can't read this because I'm old and blind. Discard them. They hate you for calling this art. Yeah, not art. And then you can just add on whatever you want. You can make it funnier if you want. Or you know what? Let's do... Yeah, we can do this. Let's do... Let's do one about your gorgeous graphic designers, too. You know what? Pose of your... gorgeous... graphic... designers left to. Alright, now what you do here is just go through and, or what I do at least, is just go through and make them bold, because that's how the cards look in the deck. And it's only on the other cards. Prominent painters. And you know what? I'm going to take this off. That doesn't make sense. Alright. And then generate the name of the card. Forgot the T. The name of the card. Bold. And yep. And now go select this to the right or left and make it big to fit the box, as big as you like, and then just move it up or down, left or right, so it's centered. And sometimes it's not always going to be centered, but for the most part, it's usually going to be centered. And you can always nudge that too if you like. And then that's it. It's done. That's all you had to do. And then all you do from here is the very last step, which is just save it to your hard drive. And that's just file, image, copy, and then save it to your hard drive. And that's it. You're done.